But nope, I ain't in school no more, so I don't have to think about it. So the only thing I can really say is that a man turns into a bug, and it was sad. Salutations! I'm Becca, this is Words Another Malarkey, and I am doing an honest-to-God booktube video today. Yay! Don't know why I did jazz hands, but yay! If you didn't notice, I kind of stopped doing like reading updates a long time ago. I think the last one I posted was like in the spring, and that's honestly because I don't like doing them. I find them really stressful. I think it just takes the fun out of reading for me because I feel like I have to have enough to make a list when I make like a seasonal video. I don't even make monthly videos. I was making seasonal videos, and no offense to anybody who makes like monthly videos, all power to you that you're able to read that much and have enough to like constitute a good like reading update and TBR video and all that. I don't read that much, and I have made my peace with that. But I did read some, and I think as we're approaching the end of the year, it might be beneficial to just kind of do like a 2021 in review and just go over basically everything I read. So this isn't going to be a particularly long video, thank God, because I think there's like 20 books on this list. That barely breaks down to 2 books a month, and I'm not ashamed of that fact at all, but it just is what it is. I hope I can top it in 2022, I really do, but let's go through it. These are in no particular order of rank. I don't really have a rating system either. I don't have like stars or anything. I could try to do something cute, you know, but no, I'm just gonna like say a couple sentences about each and hopefully not go on like a prolonged tangent about each one. So let's just start, and we'll start with the first one I can remember off the top of my head, which is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, BookTube's golden child. We read this I think around February for the Inkcatchers book club. There's a great book club review video we did over on Inks and Tomes, so go check that out. I'll put the link down below, hopefully. And, you know, I've already exhausted everything I could possibly say about that book. But I will say this, since reading it, I thought that I would just move on with my life. But I can't seem to stop thinking about this stupid book and seeing it everywhere. And that's not just because of the Shadow and Bone series that came out, though that did kind of contribute a little bit. It's because I just had to get honest with myself and admit the fact that I actually like this book. Can't help but like these characters even when they're tropey. Even Kaz Brekker, which as one of my compatriots in the Inkcatchers book club video, damn it, I'm not doing another take, book club video, so eloquently put it, he is a terrible person but a great character, and I have to agree. We also read Crooked Kingdom the following month to round out the duology and get ourselves all hyped and ready for the Shadow and Bone series that was impending. And Crooked Kingdom was good. I didn't like it as much as Six of Crows, and for the life of me I can't really remember why, but it wasn't terrible. I also read Sun and Moon, Ice and Snow by Jessica Day George. I think this was in January. That's a very January book to me. And that's just like a comfort read. It's one that I try to go back to every year. It's a retelling of East of the Sun, West of the Moon, or vice versa, I don't remember. And it's just a great fairy tale retelling and is a perfect wintry read. So I highly recommend it if you like books of that nature. And then while we're on the subject of Jessica Day George, I also reread 2 of her other books, Princess of the Midnight Ball and Princess of Glass, which are 2 in a series, and then I'm currently reading the 3rd one. It's a trilogy, and they're just, again, great comfort reads. They were easy for me to consume, and it was this last summer that I read them, and that was like the busiest time for me, so they were just something I could kind of relax and not think too hard about as I read, because I'd already read them several times. So definitely, I'll never stop recommending these to people who enjoy fairy tale retellings. Go check them out, please. I think they're very underrated. I also listened to, not sure if it was the best idea, but I listened to Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson because I was so in love with An Enchantment of Ravens, I just had to read anything else by her, which at the time, Sorcery of Thorns was the only other book by her. She's since come out with a new book that I actually do want to read. But Sorcery of Thorns, like, I liked it. Like, Margaret Rogerson's writing is great, and she has such a knack for, like, crafting worlds and, like, just, like, really, like, rich, nuanced, imaginative And Enchantment of Ravens did this really well, and I think A Sorcery of Thorns did it even better. However, I wanted to like it so bad. I wanted to like it as much as an Enchantment of Ravens, but I just couldn't. I can't really even like articulate why, but like if there's like one thing that like just bothered me personally, it's that like the not love triangle, it never really is a love triangle, but like everybody loves Silas. I don't like Silas. I don't sympathize with him. I don't think that he's worth sympathizing with. So hate me if you want, if you like the book and you like Silas, but I didn't like the implications between the three of them. It didn't feel healthy to me. So whatever. I don't care. There were things I really did like about it, and I really wish that I liked it more, but unfortunately it does not quite match the par that an Enchantment of Ravens set. Speaking of which, I did reread Enchantment of Ravens this year because it is now a recurring fall read for me, and yes, it absolutely stood up on a reread and is still one of my favorite books now of all time. Yeah, I feel comfortable saying that. We also read The Westing Game for Inkcatcher's Book Club, and that was a really fun, really quick read, considered a children's book actually, but has a lot of like maturity to it. I think that people of all ages can enjoy it. And then I also completed my first trilogy in probably like 10 plus years, and that was Defy the Fates by Claudia Gray. I thought it was a pretty solid conclusion to the trilogy. I mean, there were like some plot threads that were dropped and some things that I think she really could have like elaborated on or explored more that just weren't really, but all in all, yeah, really solid. And Abel, he's definitely made my list of top fictional boy characters, which apparently is a list that every female booktuber needs to have, I guess. But no, I really love his character. And What's-Her-Face is okay too. Alright, I also reread, or rather listened to, Princess Academy by Shannon Hale, which was a favorite from when I was younger, and I hadn't read in probably 10 plus years. But I listened to it on audiobook, which was honestly a really fun experience. I think they did a great job. They had a narrator, but then they also had voice actors. And in the book, there's a lot of like folk songs, but they're kind of just, written out like poems. But in the audio recording, they actually put music to them. And I think that really just kind of like, I don't know, added a new level to this really like mountain people folk tale heavy world that we were in. So I really enjoyed it. And I was working my way through the second book in the series that I didn't know was a series until I saw it on Audible. But I haven't finished it yet. I kind of just like put it on the back burner because there's a lot of other things I wanted to read. I also read for Readsy Dune Flyer by Jay Aspin. That's the first in a sci-fi series. I actually read a sci-fi. Yay, another sci-fi. And that was really good. I'm trying to read more indie authors and indie books for a very important reason that you either already know or that you will know soon, depending on what order I put these videos out. And yeah, it was really good. It was almost too short for me, honestly, but I have a review on my blog and on Readsy. Also read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. Classic pioneer of sci-fi, of like adventure sci-fi, I guess. And man, like, first I listened to it on audiobook, which was great because I probably wouldn't have finished it had I tried to read it. I do have a physical copy that I've tried to read, and mostly it's just there to be pretty. But yeah, listening to it was super fun. The narrator did a great job and kept me engaged because I didn't have to go through the effort of propelling myself through the story. But it really is a great classic. It's definitely made my list of favorites, and even though you had to wade through a lot of like scientific jargon, listening to it made it easier. I also read The Metamorphosis, actually listened to it because it's super short. It's basically a novella or a long short story, and if I were in school right now, I would have all sorts of thoughts about like the, unpacking the meanings behind it and looking at it through different lenses of critical theory, because that's what English majors do. But nope, I ain't in school no more, so I don't have to think about it. So the only thing I can really say is that a man turns into a bug, and it was sad. And that's the metamorphosis right there. I also read The Young Widows Club, which is like a book that I'd never heard of before and like got at a thrift store. But reading it was actually really fun. I thought it was super cute and super well done for a title that seems kind of depressing, I guess. It is literally what it sounds like. This girl whose husband dies really young, and she's like working through the grief, but it's also like kind of a rom-com, but I thought it handled everything really well and balanced out, you know, those serious themes with like the optimism. Then I also read The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, which was a kind of trendy book this past summer, and I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was really funny, especially like the first half. Like I hadn't read a book so funny in a long time. So much of the humor just like is very well done and very well placed. The second half was still funny. It was just dealing with more of the conflict, and I thought it was fine. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was a solid romance. Didn't like knock my socks off, but I did thoroughly enjoy reading it and laughed out loud quite a bit. So yeah, there's that. And then last but not least, for Inkcatcher's Book Club, we read Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater, which that video should be coming out soon, if not out already. You know, with the hindsight of the Twilight era in mind, like, this was a product of its time, even though I think it was technically written before Twilight. Doesn't matter, it all gets smushed into the Twilight era. A lot of good things going for it, but it definitely was, yeah, of its time. So I did enjoy reading it, and don't regret reading it. However, I don't think I will be continuing the series. I am perfectly content. In a separate category, I have the worst of 2021. So all that was kind of like in a best column, I guess. Like, nothing in there is bad, and again, wasn't in rank order, but there were 3 standouts that were just not good, that I just don't feel belong anywhere on this list, but that I feel like I have to mention. The first being All Our Wrong Todays by Elon Mastai. Started out good, loved the concept, time travel. He was from like an idealized 2016, and he turns it into our 2016 by messing something up in the past. So conceptually fun, executionally god-awful by the end. I just wanted it to end so bad. I also think that an author should not narrate his own audiobook. This has turned me off from that. Also, of course, it has to be in the worst. Kingdom Keepers 4, Power Play. Read that towards the beginning of the year and did a video on it, and you can go check that out because it was awful, but also not as awful as its predecessors somehow. But that sliding scale is, you know, the bar is set very low. Update on that, you know, cornerstone of my channel. I am working on Kingdom Keepers 5, but by God, I was so wiped out from 4. It's so hard. I got a chapter into Kingdom Keepers 5, and I couldn't go any further. So eventually, yes, coming eventually will be the Kingdom Keepers 5 video, but I actually have to read the damn thing first, and I don't want to because they suck. Okay, and then also on the worst list is Weight of Feathers by Anne-Marie McLemore. God, like, I like me some purple prose, but like, there's a limit. Like, every line had a stupid metaphor, and then just like, it was magical realism but also not. It was Romeo and Juliet with a circus. It was kind of night circus-y, I guess, but like, it just, ugh. I did like the boy character though. That was like the only redeeming factor. I thought he was cool. Alright, so that's all I read in 2021. What's up next on the list? What am I currently reading and hoping to finish before 2022? The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Finally getting back around to something semi-relevant, and I'm enjoying it so far, mostly. I might have some thoughts about it. I'm reading This Savage Sea by A.P. Walston. It's a advanced copy. That's through Readsy, so that's another indie book, so I'm glad that I'm reading another indie book. The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James. I've been wanting to read that one for a while, and so far it's really intriguing. And then I'm listening to Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and freaking loving it. He nails it again. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to get through by January, and maybe I'll even do a little 2022 TBR, but really my only reading goal for 2022 is to read books that I like, and that's it. But hopefully I do read more. That would be nice. So until then, keep it weird and read some books. Let me know down in the comments if you read any of these, or what your favorite book was from 2021, what you're looking forward to reading in 2022, etc., etc. I love hearing from you guys. My favorite part of making these videos is community interaction. I'm serious. I'm not just saying that because that's what booktubers say. That's actually my favorite part. So, yeah, see you next time.